Welcome back. This is Miss Faye, and this is my world. Today's topic is what happens when the narcissist dies? What happens when this evil being dies? Before we get started, I'd like to say welcome. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to all the new viewers, the new subscribers, and welcome to those of you who have been with me from the beginning. I really appreciate you. Now we have a letter. So let's dive right into this letter and see what she says. Do you think you know what happens to narcissists after they pass away? I've heard you mention that the spirit leaves the body, but where does that leave the soul? Do they leave the body and realize that they were possessed by an evil entity during their life review? Will they face the same challenges in their new life? Okay, all right. You know, when I got this letter, I had to do some meditation on this one. I knew what I thought right off the cap, but I just wanted to make sure that I was in tune with divine energy. And I did a little research on it too to see what other spiritualists thought about it. Now, number one, let's talk about the narcissist. The narcissist is being controlled by an evil entity, which means that his vessel is what the evil entity is using. All right. Now, the narcissist could, I don't know if they're aware that they're being possessed, or if to them they're just being, they are being smart in the way that they handle people. You know, maybe they just think that they're clever, but they don't realize or care that they are hurting people. See, they don't have that empathy. They do what's best for them. All right. And this is the evil spirit that has taken over. So now the narcissist, I really don't know if they even realize that they are narcissists. You know, they just feel like they're clever to use this skill, whatever it is, to get ahead, because a narcissist have to have attention. They have to have supply. So the bigger their platform, the more supply. And it just fills them up. Now their whole lives. Now, especially if they gain a lot of followers. Okay. Now, you know, I talk a lot about it because my dad was a narcissist and he had a very large following. Now, the thing about it is, when the narcissist, we're going to assume that the narcissist is doing a slow death and not a quick death, because a quick death, I think, is merciful. The narcissist probably has a slow death, and a lot of them may have an agonizingly slow death because karma. You see, in this dimension, karma is one of the laws of the universe, of this universe, but there are many universes out there. So don't be deceived and think that this is it. Okay? As a spirit, you decided, or I don't know if the cycle made you come back and relive a life that you had lived before, but maybe you did not learn the lessons, which means that if you learn the lessons of your life and ascend your frequency, then there's really no reason for you to come back into this dimension. You may go into another dimension. Okay? So I just want you to follow me and understand where I'm going with this narcissist. Okay? Now, the narcissist came in just like everybody else into this dimension. But through trauma in his life, I don't know, he could have been molested. He could have been beat. He could have been neglected, not fed, close to starvation. That's trauma. And the evil spirit will come and somehow comfort them and whisper in their ears and tell them things that you can do to overcome this. Build yourself up. See, the entity builds the narcissist back up. But when the narcissist is able to function again, the narcissist is different because the entity has taken over. All right. So now the narcissist is just a body. I say vessel, but it's just a body because the entity is inside. Okay. The entity has taken over. Now, some spiritualists say that, the original true self is still there. It's just that the entity has taken over. And if that's true, the narcissist has a chance to get rid of that evil. Okay? It's not final. But most narcissists won't do it because it means that they will lose supply. They're so used to getting that supply and that attention and all of that, that's hard to give up. Narcissists don't want to do that, So the entity stays. And with more supply, the entity gets stronger. Now, when the narcissist gets sick, they get old and they get sick. And a lot of them can get mean. Okay. So what they do, as the narcissist kind of fades away, so does his supply. Because the narcissist can't get out to where the supply is. Supply is not really coming to the narcissist. Number one, the narcissist has probably burnt so many bridges. Those people don't even want to be bothered with the narcissist anymore. But he cannot go out to find new supply. Now, I keep saying he, but the narcissist can be a female. But most times you're finding that it's the male. So as the narcissist weakens, he can't get supply. So the entity is getting restless. The entity has to have supply to survive. You understand? So once the narcissist cannot go out anymore and just sit there, you will eventually see the narcissist start wasting away quickly. Wasting away quickly because the entity is getting ready to leave that body and go seek another body. Okay? So when the entity leaves, if you know a narcissist and you're watching them during that time, you'll be able to tell that the entity is gone. The narcissist will look different. They won't look as bold, boastful, authoritative, that they used to. As a matter of fact, my dad stopped talking, period. And many narcissists probably will once that entity leaves, because before it was the entity barking at you all the time, hurting your feelings and didn't care. That's the entity. The narcissist's true self is so hidden that the entity has gotten so powerful. You see? All right, so now the narcissist is fading away. The entity is leaving. The entity is gone. Once that happens, the narcissist will dry up like a prune and die. Once the entity is gone. Because the narcissist has been surviving with this entity the whole time. So somehow the body function just shuts down. All right, so now the narcissist has passed away. What happens to the narcissist spirit? I believe that the narcissist goes where everybody else goes. Back to the source. Your soul, your energy, your spirit is going back to source. See, we are all part of the source energy. And to break it down for you so you don't become confused, the universal energy is the God source, which we're all a part of. All right? But a lot of us don't realize the power that we have, but we have the power from the God source because we are part of it. Now, the narcissist, because when the narcissist came into this dimension, The narcissist allowed this evil entity to influence him and all of that. I believe that the narcissist faces the karma for his life before he actually dies. Because when my father was wasting away, of course, I took care of him until he passed. When he was wasting away, I could see in his face that he was recollecting all of the things that he had done in his life, all of the people that he had hurt in his life. You could see different expression on his face. During that time, I was still healing myself, so I wasn't really giving him attention or anything like that. So he wasn't getting supply from me, and nobody came to visit much. So he wasn't getting the supply. So that's why the entity took off. But I believe that his spirit, the spirit of the narcissist, goes back to the God source. I believe karma is experienced in this dimension. Now, the thing about it is, I don't believe it's going to be any judgment. You got to stand, somebody going to have a book and somebody going to read all of you, and somehow you got to pay the bill or what. I don't believe any of that. I don't believe that. I believe you go back to the God source, and whether you are recycled back to this dimension only because you didn't learn lessons. You see, because even the narcissists had lessons to learn, but they didn't learn the lesson. That's why they went on with that evil energy. So maybe if you don't learn the lessons that are presented in this life, because we all have a purpose, and we all came here to fulfill that purpose. So if you come here and you just a rock, you probably have to come back and do it again. Once you learn the lessons of your life and ascend your vibration to a higher frequency, I don't believe that you will be recycled back. You were probably at the God source. Do you go off to another dimension? I haven't been there yet. Or I don't remember. I think we all came from the God source, but when you come into this dimension, you forget so that you can start from scratch. Because the main point here is that the God source is all knowing, all expanding, always vibrating with the yin and the yang. Okay? So with us being a part of the God source, we go into dimensions to learn the lessons. Okay? It is all a spiritual thing. It's not about being punished or damned. There is no hell, so forget that. That's something man made up. There's no hell. You can live hell right here on earth from the karma that you receive from your deeds. Right here on earth, you can live hell. You can live a living hell if you're stuck with the wrong partner. Your hell is right here. It's not once you pass away. So, I know what people are thinking, because the narcissist is so evil, you want to see him pay. You want to know that he's going to pay. You need to let that go. Concentrate on yourself. The narcissist, they would get this. But they would probably get it in this lifetime, or they'll be recycled back and get it in another lifetime. I know the last narcissist that I dated, I told him, I said, you know what, you better watch out, because when you come back in the next life, you could come back as a chicken. And he I don't know if he got it or what, but it's true. Okay? So don't worry about that, because it can drag you down into a lower frequency, seeking revenge on someone that has hurt you. That's the point. Don't do it. Just forget it. Let them live their life. Whatever happens, happens. But you must keep positive and in peace, and continue to work on yourself, raising your frequency so that you can manifest your desires and live a happy life. Now, let me look and see if I answered your questions here. Okay, you asked me about where did the soul go. It goes back to the God source. Your spirit, your soul, it goes back to the God source. Yeah, I don't think the narcissists realized that they were possessed. Not unless they did some studying about narcissism. Now, they would have to do the studying because even if they went to clinical therapist, they're going to tell you what's in the book. And it's all about, counseling and all of that. But narcissism is a spiritual thing. So you really need to go to a spiritual teacher to find out what the narcissist is and how to guard yourself from narcissistic attacks. Okay? All right, let me see if narcissists' greatest fear in life is to lose control. The whole thing is controlling their supply. Now, the narcissists, many of them, in their stillness, when a supply is low, the entity will torment the narcissist. Torment the narcissist until they go out and find supply. So there must be a time when the true self is wanting to break free from the entity, but the entity is too strong. So the narcissist is forced by the entity to go get supply from anywhere. And it can be from hooking up with a woman or hooking up with a man. When the entity wants supply, the narcissist does not resist. Remember, supply is your emotions, your resources, your money, and whatever else that you have, your attention, all of it is supplied to the narcissist. That's why when the narcissist discards you or whatever, you feel totally drained out because they've been sucking on you like a vampire the whole time they've been with you. You didn't realize what was going on. But they were sucking the life right out of you. And, narcissists that manage to stay with their wives for years and years and years and years, many times the wife will die first. As long as the narcissist is staying on top and all of that. And the wife, because she's usually weak from him draining her, until the wife may die first. Because of the stress, the anxiety, and the unhappiness. Just being with an evil being. So you ladies who may find yourself with a narcissist, and you're there hoping and praying one day he's going to change. One day he's going to come to his senses. No, he's not going to. And those of you who decide to stay with the narcissist because, your marriage vows, you have my sympathy. The only thing that I will ask you to do is to take care of yourself first. All right, don't allow the narcissist to drain your whole life away. And don't allow the narcissist to isolate you. That's the first thing they do. It's a method of control. I hope that you understand the message today. And I really hope that it helps someone. Now, those of you who may have a question that you'd like for me to answer, my email address is in the description. I want to thank you so much for supporting this channel. Thank you for your comments and your letters. And a very special thank you to those that leave a donation. I really appreciate all of you. I wish you all the very best. And I really hope to see you next time.